Hello everyone. Today we are going to see how to recover the colors of an image in order to apply them directly to the faces of our drawing. For example, if I had to reproduce this logo, I need to get the colors back. And that's not possible, it's an image. I will give you two different techniques, simple and fast. The first technique is for full color images. That is, the pixels that make up each color are all the same color. This is the case with this logo. For yellow, all the pixels are the same yellow. The same goes for blue and black. We don't see any color gradient, except at the intersections. The second technique this time concerns images with gradients. Like this flame or a photo, for example, almost all the pixels are different colors. Here we can clearly see all the gradients, so don't worry. The two techniques I offer you are really very simple and quick. I'll start with the logo image. I will start with a new file. You can download the two images if you want to practice at the same time as I do. The link is in the description. I start by deleting the character and then importing the files. Here I am on SketchUp files, so I choose PNG image. I double-click on my logo. I also import the flame. In the material palette I switch to my model. Here I have the colors that go with Chris. I click on Delete all, so I have no more colors. I select my image, I right-click. I click on Explode. We can see that this has created a texture for me. I do the same for the flame. Explode. I draw 3 rectangles below. These 3 rectangles will allow me to check that I have got the right colors. I zoom in, I take the rectangle tool, I draw a small square to the rectangle here. I do the same with the blue. I hit the spacebar, I right-click and I click on Make Texture Unique. On the right you can see that it has been created. I do the same for the blue. We will check that the colors are identical. If I take the paint bucket and click on each side, I have the same color. I draw a line. Like this, then one in the other direction. I'm going to apply my textures. I hide the 2 edges. We see that we have the same colors, there is no difference. Thanks to this technique I will be able to modify my logo. If I take the circle for example, I draw one like this. I take my paint can. I click on the circle and with the eraser I erase the line of the circle. It looks like I have changed my logo. The first solid color technique is complete. We will now move on to gradient colors. First you need to add as many squares as there are colors you want to restore. I'm only doing one for this example. It's the same technique for each color you want to restore. It's up to you how much you need to do. Once you have drawn your squares in a row, you need to apply a color to them. And if possible, a different color from the model. To do this, I go into color. I choose a red for the first side and apply it. Let's say I'm interested in this orange. So I zoom in hard on it, until I can no longer see a gradient. Here we can still see it, so I'm going to zoom in on it. We can clearly see that there is no gradient in this area. To get the color back, I'm going to use the screenshot tool that's built into Windows. I click on New. I'll make a little frame here. I save the file. I name it Orange. I validate. I close the cropping tool. I do this for each call. So if you had 2 or 3, you would have to do this 2 times 3 times. Now I go back to my model. This is the color that's here. I'm going to apply the color that I captured there. I double-click on it. I go down to Use Texture Image. I go back to where I saved my image. Double-click. We can see that the color has been applied here. We find it there. It automatically placed itself here. So a little advice to check if the texture has been taken correctly. It would be interesting to enlarge the square. Back and forth. And if we see that it's uniform, that's good. If you see a slight gradient, then you need to zoom in more on the flame to get a completely united part. This tutorial is finished. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to support the channel by liking and sharing the video, and subscribe. Feel free to join us on Discord in French if you have any questions about anything SketchUp related. Thanks and see you soon.